Do you remember what it felt like when he pursued you, you know, when you first met? He called you, he showed up, he made plans, he paid attention to what you liked, what made you laugh. He made you feel like you were the most important person in his world. He did. And then you got married. And somewhere along the way, all of it kind of just stopped. It just, I mean, it wasn't all at once, but it sort of just like faded away. It drifted off into somewhere else, right? And now you're sitting there and you're at the house and, maybe, and you're just feeling completely alone and you're trying to figure out what happened, you know, um, uh, what happened to the man I married? Did I do something? Did he stop loving me? Is this what my marriage is going to be? You have all of those questions, and that is where you are right now. Yeah. And I want you to stay with me, dear friend, because in this video, I'm going to explain to you what happened, you know, what happened. And what I mean is the real reason why this happened. And I'm going to give you three practical tools to start rebuilding that connection today. Yeah. And let me tell you this, though, dear friend, it might look a little different, yeah, than what you imagined. Okay. Just brace yourself. Okay. But I promise you, it is possible. Well, yeah. Before we get going today, let me introduce myself. My name is Olivia Hall, and I've been in a neurodiverse marriage for over 25 years. We're still going strong, loving, choosing each other each day. Still some bumps and challenges along the way, but boy, are we better than we were 25 years ago. And so, I know what it feels like to look at your husband and wonder, where is the man who chased me, who adored me, who did all the plans? Where did he go? Right? What happened? And, I kind of remember when it started to happen a little bit. It was after the honeymoon and a couple of months in, and things just started to change. He stopped doing all the planning and all of those things, right? And so it was me more so having, oh, honey, let's do this, or let's do this for date night, or, so I began to see it, and maybe you're in the same place. So, you know what? Let's get ready. Let's just get into it. Let's get into it. So, let's talk about why he really chased you. Let's talk about the real reason, okay? So here's the first thing, dear friend, I want you to understand, and maybe, and hopefully this will, it will shift something for you. So when your husband was first chasing after you, right, he was pursuing you, before you got married. Um, and when he was doing that, I'm gonna have to tell you, that wasn't just normal. I'm gonna use an old word, courtship behavior. Okay, that's an oldie word, right? Um, for a man that is on the autism spectrum or who's wired differently, right? Something very specific was happening in his brain when he was chasing you, when he's pursuing you. And researchers call it hyperfocus. That's what they call it. And, when someone on the autism spectrum or, with a neurodivergent wiring finds something that they are genuinely interested in, okay? It could be a person, it could be a project, it could be an idea. They can like zero in, they can lock in on it with with this intensity, right? With this passion. And, in those early days, when he first met and you're getting to know each other and it was like, oh, he really likes me. In those early days, you felt all of this. You felt him chasing and pursuing you and you knew that he really liked you. He was really hyper focused on you. And what I mean by this, you were his special interest. You've heard me kind of say that before, right? The term special interest. Yeah, he was locked in on you. Okay, let's keep going. The energy that you felt like early on when you guys were dating in that season, that was 100% real. It was 100% real. He wasn't faking it, he wasn't faking the calls when he would want to call you, when he called you, when he made plans for dates, when he gave you all of this attention. That was him. That was your hubby. That was your guy, right? Fully engaged in you. Um, and you didn't imagine that. So, why he chased you, you were his special interest. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's talk about then why, after you got married, things began to kind of fade, gradually slow down, and stop. Right. So here's what happens. So once your hubby felt secure in the marriage, once he was all settled in, everything was good in his brain. Well, once everything was good for him, he just kind of moved on to the next thing, right? He didn't move away from you necessarily, just on to the next thing that needed some focus. Okay. Um, and many, I'm going to say, quote unquote, normal men do this too. Normal, neurotypical. I'll just put those in quotes. Um, they do it too. They, to some degree, yeah, they tend to drop off. They kind of stop doing the things that it took to get you, right, to date you, to keep you interested. They kind of start to drop off. Okay, so it's not just men on the autism spectrum. It's like neurotypical men as well. But in neurodiverse marriage, it feels, when this starts to happen, it's like suddenly. It's like this jolt. It's like, what just happened? I mean, what just happened? What just happened, right? Okay, well, and here's what makes it so it hurt. It makes it painful. It's tough. Is that oftentimes, or even back then, he didn't realize what he was doing. He didn't realize it, and I want to tell you this: he's not withholding connection to punish you. He's not doing that. Number two, he's not bored with you. No, dear friend, of course not. But he may really, really, truly not understand that what you need from him emotionally um, is something that has to continue, um, that he has to do this daily. He has to continue to pursue you. It's not a one and done, He has to do that, to actively choose that every day. And because for him, like right now, it's everything's good to him, Everything is working fine. He loves you, everything looks good to him, but for you, no, not so much, right? And what he doesn't fully understand is this, is that you need the pursuit, the chase to continue. Yes, you do. Yes, I do. Yes. And not because you're insecure or I'm insecure. No, not at all. Not at all. But because connection in marriage isn't a destination. Hmm. Connection, I'm going to say that again. Connection in marriage is not a destination. It's a daily practice. It's something that you have to do every day. And that is not natural or intuitive for someone who's wired like your guy is, right? And so what does this mean for you, dear friend? Well, it means that you're going to experience some loss. You're going to grieve a little bit, right? Because um, it's not what you expected, right? The disconnect that you feel, all of that's real. And so there'll be a little of grief and a little bit of loss there. And I want you to know it's not your fault that it happened. But it also means that waiting for him to naturally go back to like when you were dating and he did all of the things, if you're waiting for him to do that, and waiting for him to remember how he used to do things and treat you, um, that I'm just going to tell you now, that's not the way to go. That's not the answer. And it's not because he can't do those things or connect, but because he needs a different kind of roadmap, if you will, to do it. Okay. So here's the reframe. This is, I want to kind of shift your perspective a little bit and reframe this. Okay. And I want you to write this down too. So here it is. I'm going to put it on the screen here. Connection in a neurodiverse marriage is possible. Mhm. But it may look different than what you expect. Yeah, it may look different than what you expect. Different is not less. Different is just different, right? And he'll need a different approach. If so, here we're going to talk about three practical tools, three to start rebuilding that connection starting today. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. Tool number one. Tool number one. This one tends to be a hard one for a lot of women because we're so used to, silently in our head, I hope my husband notices A, B, and C, right? We tend to drop hints, you know, sometimes we tend to get a little bit quieter. We wait, right? And so this is what I've learned after 25 years of marriage. Your guy, your neurodiverse husband is not going to read between the lines. He's not. He's not going to read between the lines. He's not going to pick up on those signals, my dear friend. No, ma'am. Uh-uh. And it's not that he doesn't care. He needs somebody to tell him directly and specifically, I can't say that word, specifically and calmly what you need from him. Yeah, you have to literally tell him. You're like, I shouldn't have to. I know what you're going to say. No, you shouldn't. But in this marriage, you should. You have to. Okay. And, I don't want you to do this, not in the middle of an argument. Don't do it then. Not with frustration, driving when you're talking, you're just frustrated every time you talk to him and you're going to bring this up. Don't do it then. Don't do it like that. Um, just some time when you're both are quiet, there's some calm. Um, you can just say something like, honey, I need us to have like um, 15 minutes at the end of the day tonight where we can just talk. Can we carve out some time today just to talk? I don't want any cell phones, no TV or nothing like that, honey. And that helps me. It fills my love tank, Can we try that? It's not going to be anything, you're not in trouble or anything. I just want to talk a little bit. That's all. Um, Here it is. Direct, specific, kind. That is the language that lands. That's the language that he understands. Being direct, being specific, and being kind when you talk to him, okay? So tool number one was get clear on what you actually need. Tool number two, let's keep going. Lower the stakes of connection. So I want you to listen to this one. So sometimes we're waiting for that really big romantic gesture. So if you like rom-coms or romantic comedies, don't watch them. Do not watch them. Okay? If it causes you to spiral, do not do it. Don't watch the rom-com. um, you know, because we're waiting for those big romantic gestures, and maybe you can go back and think, oh, he used to do this, or he would take me out here to this beautiful restaurant, or he would buy me flowers just because, or he had rose petals, or whatever it was, right? That was a used to. Now it's a never, and I'm exaggerating, but and so when you don't experience the connection, the romance in the way that you really would like it or need it, then you feel like this is not going to work out. This is no good, right? And but here's something. So I want you to start small. Yes, you. Yeah. Because connection in a neurodiverse marriage often happens in little tiny micro moments. Okay, it's not the big gestures. It's not the big romantic, oh, he's going to whisk me away this weekend and we're going to fly to New York. We're going to go see that play, right? No, it's none of that. It's in little tiny gestures, tiny moments like, maybe you two are sharing a joke and you're laughing about that, right? Or you're watching something together, a TV show that you both like, um, or sitting in the same room, but maybe maybe you're doing, can't talk, separate things, right? But you're choosing to be near each other. Okay. Those small, tiny moments count. Hear me, they count. So let them count. I believe you love your husband. I believe you really want to stay. That's why you're watching this video. So you got to reframe things and you got to let those moments count. Okay. Let's go on to tool number 3. And so you have to name what you are missing. You have to name it out loud. Okay. So a lot of us carry around this, this sort of, uh, this pain, silently suffering, right? We know something is wrong, but, because we haven't put words to it, um, for ourselves, we can't definitely, if we don't know what it is and can't communicate it, how in the world can we share it with our husbands? So I want you to take some time. If you have a journal, maybe you can journal, um, or go on a quiet walk. And I want you to ask yourself um, these two things, and I'll put them on the screen. What specific thing do I miss most? Okay. And then the second question, what would connection actually look like for me right now? Okay. So think about those two questions. I want you to take some time. I want you to journal. Journaling is great. Okay. I want you to really sit with it, right? What do you really need right now? And when you can name it, dear friend, you can ask for it. Yeah, you can ask for it. And when you can ask for it clearly, you can give your husband the tools, the actual roadmap he needs to connect with you. Yeah, you can. So, and just thinking and talking about the roadmap that he needs to connect with you. Um, if all of this is kind of resonating, what we're talking about today, and if you're thinking, yep, this is what I'm going through right now, I want to leave you with something. If this has actually resonated with you, this video, I created something called the Peaceable Wife Quick Action Toolkit. Yeah. And it's specifically designed for women that are just like you, that are in this situation, and it gives you practical communication tools, um, so that you can start communicating with your guy and you can start showing up differently in your marriage without having to figure it out all on your own. The link is in the description, and you can check it out there if that's something you want to look into. I'll leave the QR code on the screen too. Um, so here's what I want you to take away from this video today. Here's what I want you to take away. The chasing, the pursuit, It didn't stop because you stopped being worth pursuing. It stopped because your husband's brain, it moved on. Everything was good for him. He was fine. So he just moved on to the next thing to focus on, right? Um, because his wiring is different. It's not that he stopped loving you. His brain is wired differently, right? So now you know why it happened and you have some tools to move forward, and you know that real connection is still on the table. It's still possible. It absolutely is. So what I'd love for you to do is drop a comment below and tell me which of those three tools that you're going to try first. Okay. And I read every single comment. I may not respond to everyone, and I try to, but I do read them. And so I want to hear from you. I want to know. And so if this video helped you too, I would love, love, love for you to subscribe. Please subscribe. It really helps get this information out to women, um, and builds the channel. So I'm so glad that you're here. And before you go, check out this next video. I have some good stuff in, and I think that it will interest you.